Hey everybody, welcome to part 12 of our Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD on PC 100% full game playthrough. At the time of recording this episode, it is a almost summery Saturday night. I am hidden away from the world. We finally got the dreaded COVID in the house, so we're all under, safety protocol is to not get anybody else sick. So here I am sitting by myself, which, is nothing new for a Saturday night anyway, but I got this nice, tasty watermelon Monster energy drink that I'm sipping from, and feeling all nice and energized to do some Kingdom Hearts here. So, last episode, we did a Flick Rush, and after completing all of the Flick Rush cups, excuse me, a little bit of a dream eater in my throat there. After clearing all the Flick Rush cups, we had just enough medals to go over to the medal shop and grab the last of our Dream Eater recipes. So for this episode, I'm going to be taking. I'm going to keep my gamer hat on, but I'm also going to put my professor hat on, because we are going to have our Introduction to Dream Eaters 101 course on this fine evening. So, we all know that guides exist online. The days of those nice, cool strategy guidebooks we all used to collect are long gone. Hell, some of you watching are probably too young to even remember when guidebooks were still a thing. But anyway, there is a ton of useful Dream Eater information scattered across the internet. The key word there is scattered. So I'm going to try to put together a nice and detailed and concise guide to how to make and interact with Dream Eaters in this episode. In the episode's description, there will be an Excel spreadsheet that I threw together. It's going to have one tab for the Dream Eater recipes, where they're located, what materials are required, how many just to make that Dream Eater, and then how many materials you need to make a star rank Dream Eater. When making if you're making a Dream Eater using an F rank recipe, you cannot make it into a star rank no matter what. I've already double checked this time, because I know my commentary's been all over the place, scatterbrained lately, but there is not a single recipe if you follow the actual Dream Eater recipes that you pick up throughout the game, there is not a single one that will make an F rank spirit. Every recipe is at least a rank E spirit, so you can make them all into star rank spirits. What the hell am I talking about with rank F and rank E and star ranks? Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, go into a bit more detail about the actual process of transmuting a Dream Eater. Let's drop a couple of fancy words here. Transmuting. So if you go into spirits, create a spirit. I've actually gone ahead and created all but one of them already, of the ones that haven't been done. So, everything's a star rank here. So see how when you look at, say, the Meow Wow, this is the recipe, like the actual recipe item. There is another way you can make Dream Eaters. We'll talk about that in a second. So the Meow Wow recipe is a rank E. Now, if you go to, say, we'll just pop around here. So the Neko Cat is a rank D recipe. And then if you go a little further down, we've got Flauber Meow as a rank C recipe. Wow, Lord Kairu's only a D rank recipe? Huh, that's weird. Okay, let's look at some ones that should be higher than that. So that's the only one that I haven't made yet, and we're going to use him for the example. So as you can see, the recipes are typically between E and and C. So, for an example, we'll pull up the pseudo Neku here. So, disclaimer, we have access to all dream pieces now. I did not want to spend, like 20 plus hours farming for these, so I do have the trainer active right now for infinite dream pieces, as well as infinite trading toys. Again, I've already done this fair and square a couple times, so I don't feel any qualms about speeding up the process a little bit. Obviously, some people are going to want to go ahead and farm the hard way, even if they've already done it. I'm not here to pass judgment. I just ask that you don't pass judgment on me in return for, speeding the process up a little bit. Or if you do pass judgment on me, whatever. I don't get offended. I can take it. Anyway, before I start getting too mean and offend somebody else, so Pseudo Neku is a rank C recipe. It requires 1 wild fantasy and 2 noble fantasy. So what happens if we use 2 times the required materials? So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. Oh look, now it's up to B, now it's up to A. So that's using double the required materials. So by using 200% of the required materials to make this recipe, we have gone up 2 ranks. Now what happens if we do another wild fantasy and another 2 noble fantasies to make it 300% of our required ingredients? Boom, boom. Now it's a star rank. So for every rank you want to go up, you must increase the materials going in by 100%. So what we did, oh, sorry, I'm trying to flip the mic off when that happens, but that one slipped through. So what we just did was we increased our material output for this recipe to 300%. So just again, there's the minimum, so 100% of the materials. There's 200% of the materials. And there's 300% of the materials. So for every rank you want to increase, you have to go up roughly 100%. So that was for the Pseudo Neku, which is a C rank recipe normally. So let's look at, say, an E rank recipe. So for the E rank recipe, Tubgwin Ace, so we have 3 and 3 as your standard requirements. So let's do 6 and 6. That's 200%. We've gone up to rank C. And then if we do 300%, we've gone up to rank B. If we go to 400%, we're still only at rank B. If we go up to 500%, we're up to rank A. Now here's the thing. No matter how much we increase this by now, like even if we go to like every single material we have, we are not going to be able to get a star rank out of an E rank recipe. See, like we're getting nothing. So that brings us to the next question. How do we get these E rank recipes all the way up to star rank? Well, that's very, very simple actually. And this also gives me a chance to correct one of my earlier mistakes. So remember back when we were doing, oh boy, sorry guys. Remember back when we were doing the money farming and trying to get the forecast for the Moogle shop sale back in the Julius episode part 9? Damn, that monster's good. So my dumbass was under the impression that the forecast applied to every world. Turns out that is not the case. A lot of you are probably laughing at me if you've already played this, like, oh, this guy didn't know that. Hey, you know what? I didn't. I've never really paid attention to it. I got really lucky with the forecasts. So as it turns out that when you go from world to world, the forecast is different. I'm sure there's at least one other person who's played this game that didn't figure that out, or at least I'm going to tell myself that so I can sleep tonight. So the forecast for Traverse Town, it's an ordinary day. No such thing as an ordinary day in the world of Kingdom Hearts, but that's beside the point. So if we go up here to La Cité des Clochers, which I'm probably still butchering, we've got a Moogle sale, or bargain flurry. If we go to the grid, we've got a money storm. So the forecasts are different for each world. I had no idea. I've led you all astray. Now, here's what we want right here. Prankster's Paradise is where I drop down to make all these Dream Eaters because it has the Risky Skies, or whatever it's called. It'll show up in a second. Let's see. Risky Winds. Well, I mean, the wind is in the sky, so I guess I'm still kind of right. Not really. I botched it. Alright, so we're going to touch down right here at this safe little save point. Now, why does Risky Skies matter when it comes to making Dream Eaters? Well, risky winds, dangerous drop speeds, and fearsome foes. So drop gauge is going to deplete faster, enemies are stronger. What this doesn't tell you is that whilst we are in a world with the Risky Skies forecast, when we go to create a spirit, look at that, forecast bonus, rank up. So check this out. So let's go to that, where was it? Oh, either way, we have an E rank recipe here. That is the one, okay. So look at that. It says it's a rank E recipe still, right? But when we actually click into it and go to make it, it immediately jumps up to a D rank recipe. So now, if we do 200% of our materials, we're up to a rank B. If we do 300%, we're up to an A. Let's try 400%. Nope, not yet. So let's go to 500%. So at 500% of your required materials for the recipe, under the Risky Winds forecast, every single Dream Eater recipe given to you in the game can produce a rank star spirit. Do you have to go and make every single spirit at rank star? Of course you don't. Nothing in this game requires you to make all of your spirits a star rank. Is it going to make our lives a hell of a lot easier when we do our critical mode playthrough? Maybe not a hell of a lot easier, but it's going to make a difference. So, the rank of the Dream Eaters is pretty self-explanatory. The higher the rank, the more effective they're going to be in battle. Plus, as you can see, the more materials you pump in to get that star rank, the higher their starting level is going to be too. So, just to, now that we've gone over this, just to quick recap, Risky Winds, and for a rank E recipe, you will have to put out 500% of the ingredients under the Risky Winds. And then if it's a rank C recipe, you only have to put out like 300% of the ingredients. Like I said, there's the Excel spreadsheet that's attached to this. It's going to be on a Google Docs drive or whatever it's called. And it will show you all the recipes, the minimum ingredients to create each Dream Eater from the recipes, and then the number of ingredients you will need to make an S rank. And I will put a note on there that for any recipe with a rank E, that Risky Winds forecast is required. I mean, you'll want to use the Risky Winds forecast anyway. Also on that spreadsheet will be another tab that lists every dream piece in the game and what I believe is the easiest way to get them. Keep in mind, some of them you will have to get the bargain flurry. There will be some money farming involved, so if you do not, if you're unfamiliar with the money trick, or if you forget how to do it, refer back to part 9 with the Julius fight. That episode is where we covered the money farming. Okay, so before I go ahead and make my final Dream Eater that I need to make, there is also the free development option. And this is where you just kind of pick your materials and see what you can make. So I did Dulcet Figment and Rampant Fancy. So it's going to tell us here that this can make a rank C Tatsu Steed recipe. But it's also only a 10% chance, and there's a 90% chance we're going to get something else. Now, the other thing that the game doesn't tell you is the risky wins makes it so that 10% is actually 50%. I'm not going to do it this way just because I went through the trouble of hunting down all the recipes anyway. There will be one little discrepancy in that spreadsheet from what you're going to see on the screen here. That is because I noted the recipes in the order that they're listed in the item section. Let me just clarify what I mean here for a second. So if you go into items and stock, these are all the recipes. They are written in order on the Excel spreadsheet as they appear on this screen right now. The difference is when you're actually in the Dream Eater screen, Tubgwin Ace is before Katanuki and Beetle-like is the last one. But again, the spreadsheet was written up based off of the key items inventory, so just throwing that out there for anyone who's going to use that spreadsheet. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to make... So, obviously, because I have access to the trainer, I went ahead and remade all my spirits to star rank. If you've got all the time in the world to sink into games, I would say go ahead and take the time to make the star rank spirits. If you're on like a limited play time schedule like I am, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, you know, maybe like the main, you know, the Tyranto Rex, the Skelter Wild, the Meowjesty, like any of the big Dream Eaters that you want to use in your party because they're the, like, you know, the tough ones. Those ones I would recommend farming the materials to make them star rank. But you don't have to do it with all of them. There's nothing for 100% completion that requires having all star rank spirits. For me, it's just kind of the case of, holy shit, I can press a couple buttons on another program and do it in a matter of minutes. So, obviously, I took advantage of it and did it. Alright, so let's go ahead and create our last spirit. Rank up. So, the last one I have to make is the Pseudo Neku. It is a rank C recipe, so I would have to use 300% of the output materials. So I should only have to use 200% of the output materials because it just went up to rank B for the risky wins. So 200% of 1 is 2, and 200% of 2 is 4. And look at that. So without the risky wins, I would have to use 3 Wild Fantasy and 6 Noble Fantasy. Thanks to risky wins, which is necessary for the E rank recipes anyway, I can make this C rank recipe for a few less rare ingredients than I would normally need. And another thing, so you can put commands on here, and they'll give you, you know, various bonuses. Now, one thing that we will have to do eventually is we're going to need to max out every spirit's affinity. So if you want to get a jump start on that, take one of these dream candies, and you'll start off with an affinity level of 3 instantly. I typically don't give out my commands or items to do anything with the Dream Eaters because I'd rather have the items. But affinity level 3 is going to be a little, you know, pretty good. So let's create this one. Alright, so there is our pseudo Neku. Give the new spirit a name. I think pseudo Neku works just fine. And I haven't renamed a single one of these yet. I'm not going to start now. Alright, so that covers Dream Eater creation. Now, I'm actually going to head back over to Traverse Town at this point, just because I prefer to be in Traverse Town. Really doesn't matter what world we're in at this point, but I just prefer... I think of Traverse Town as this game's hub world, so that's where we're going to go. Even though there's actually no safe spot in any world in this game that doesn't have enemies except the Bell Tower in Notre Dame, but... La Cité des Clochers, excuse me. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now, I do believe I showed you guys the Dream Eater mini-games already. The like the water barrel pinball thing, the Candy Crush shooting thing there, and the balloon pop. And I believe I mentioned a little something about dispositions. So now we're gonna like really get in depth with the dispositions. Get out of that menu. So we're gonna go into our spirit bonding menu here. Now, each Dream Eater has 4 different dispositions. Now, you can tell which disposition they are currently in by their, well, I mean, obviously you can look and it's going to tell you what they're in, if I can get over here. So, and now see that angry poke? That's an angry poke. He doesn't like that. Well, apparently he just didn't like that one spot. Zombie Dinosaur didn't like that. Alright, so I'm not going to get into details about the names of each disposition, but notice how Skelter Wild's eyes are green right now. Okay? And now notice Tyrantorex's eyes are also green right now. And Meowjesties are a nice, adorable light blue. So let's take Mr. Skelter Wild here. And I want to turn him to his purple disposition. So let's get out of this, and then let's pull up the training toys, and let's go into our food menu here. Alright? Alright, so we have the confetti candy right here, level 1, 2, and 3. We have the shield cookie, 1, 2, and 3. We have the Block-It chocolates, 1, 2, and 3. And we have the Ice Dream cone, 1, 2, and 3. I believe these are all, and what's that, the Royal Cake? I don't think that really is going to play a part here. I'm going to double check. I believe these to all be available in the shop at this point. So again, obviously money farming is going to be a big part of this. This does not really have to be done now. The important thing in preparation for the new game plus on Critical is that you make all the Dream Eaters now. But I figured we're doing Dream Eater 101, so let's cover this anyway. Okay. So as I said, Mr. Skelter Wild, Zombie Dino, right now his eyes are green. I want to turn his eyes purple. So each of these 4 types of treats, let's just call them what they are, they're treats, we're giving our pets treats. Our pets just happen to be killing machines when we need them to be. Each of these items correspond to a different color. So the confetti candy is purple. None of these are in purple right now, so as long as one of them changes, I'll consider this experiment a success. So I'm going to go, now again, I have a trainer code on right now so that these will never run out on me, because, you know, it does rack up pretty quick in the cost. So I'm going to take the confetti candy level 3, and I'm going to try to throw it to the Skelter Wild, in the hopes that if I throw enough at him, those green eyes will turn a pretty purple instead. Alright. Alright, so right now he's still a fiend. So we're at the point now where just keep throwing candy at him until their disposition changes. I'm going to keep doing it this time until somebody actually changes so you can see that it does work the way I am describing it. Okay, you ate that candy. Sometimes they won't eat, so if you have to, you can like back out of the menu and go back into it. Like I really want the Skelter Wild to eat that candy and he's not doing it. Oh, I think it happened. Alright, Skelter Wild's disposition has changed to Barbarian. See how Skelter Wild's eyes are purple now? So that's how you do that. So, confetti candy is purple, these three. The 3 shield cookies correspond to blue. The blocket chocolates correspond to green. And the ice dream cone corresponds to yellow. So you do kind of have to remember what you've already done as far as opening pathways up on the ability link boards, which is the only reason that we're doing this. So we just changed the Skelter Wild from his green disposition to purple. During Critical Mode, we're going to do a Welcome to Dream Meteorology 102, where we go into like full review of all the dispositions and the ability link boards and whatnot. Right now, this is just like to better understand how to create them and properly interact with them and help them grow to their fullest potential. Alright, so if we actually go and look at the Skelter Wild, right? Let's see if doing that changed anything. Okay, so nothing changed on that one. Let me look at these real quick and see if there's one that will actually change if we change the disposition a little bit. Interesting. Alright, let me double check what I say Tyranno Rex is right now. Also green? Come here, you pretty killing machine. Alright, so right now Tyranno Rex is in his green disposition, alright? So what I am going to do is I am going to switch him over to his purple disposition. So I want to switch him over to purple, so we're going to stick with the confetti candy because that's purple. I'm going to throw it right at the Tyranno Rex in the hopes that eventually he'll eat one. So this is another little thing about this. If you're trying to get one particular Dream Eater to change dispositions by eating the candies, you have to come to terms with the fact ahead of time that the other ones might swoop in and steal it. That's why money farming is so important right now, because you need to be able to afford a bunch of candies to just toss around. I'm going to keep on throwing these, and eventually the Tyranto will eat one, I think. Oh, I think that did it. Did it work? Oh, nope, it didn't. You're already in Flame Tongue. Okay. So, positive pokes and pets and negative pokes and pecks. Holy God, wow, that sounds awful. I mean, I have a fairly dirty sense of humor myself, so there's not really any way I could describe this. It's not going to have me like laughing to myself. If you touch the Dream Eater the right way or touch it the wrong way, that can also change its disposition. Like if you find a spot where you're petting and you get like the see, you just got happy because you scratched him right behind the ear. That can change the disposition too. I find it easier to just use the candies, even though it does mean money farming. So let's go ahead and keep throwing confetti candies until something goes right here. Confetti candy, literally right in front of you. Come on. Okay, Tyrantorex's disposition is changed to Tyrant. So now, as I said, if we look, the eyes should now be purple. Okay? And if we go to the ability link board for Tyrannorex, the spirit's disposition is changed to Tyrant. New route opened. So see, now we just got 2 more ability nodes over here. And that should actually be the end of his board. Let's see. Tyrantorex's ability link board complete. Now, there are some, I think there's a couple of Dream Eaters that do have secret pathways hidden behind each disposition, but typically they only have like 1 or 2 of the 4 dispositions that actually open another path. So the more I think about it, all right, now that I have done this little Dream Eater 101 explanation, I'm actually going to include my full Excel spreadsheet for Dream Drop Distance, just like I did with, I think, Birth by Sleep, with like all the abilities and stuff. I'm going to include a full spreadsheet that shows like every attack command, every magic command, every item command, movement, reprisals, defense, and all that. Because basically it's like a nice, mostly clean spreadsheet that shows you everything in the game and where to get it. Because just to reiterate, it is not necessary to go through and get every single command in the game for this playthrough. But obviously, if you see a command on the list that you think, damn, that's going to be really useful for, like, you know, the secret portals or stuff, like, I'll put it in there so that if you see a command I use for the rest of this playthrough that you want to know where I got it from and I haven't mentioned it, the information's right there. Because I'm not going to go through every command that I've picked up right now, but I'll put the spreadsheet in there, like I said, for anybody who, you know, sees a command and says, hey, I want that. But, again, after this episode, we're going to do the secret portals, and then we're going to end this first playthrough. So, ultimately, like, tracking down every single command is not going to come into play until the second playthrough, where we actually need to do every single thing in the game to have that 100% completion. Alright, so we've covered how to make the Dream Eaters, we've covered the importance of the risky wins and farming materials and all that stuff, and now we've just covered how to change Dream Eater dispositions. I think really that's it for now. When we get into our critical mode playthrough, that's when we'll do Dream Eater 102, where I'll like go through and show you every single ability link board, what it looks like when it's completed. We'll talk about what's hidden behind which dispositions and stuff like that. But again, the important thing right now is make sure you've made at least one of every Dream Eater before we clear the game and get the New Game Plus file set up. I don't want to like spoil everything, but there's a few things that do carry over into New Game Plus, and your created Dream Eaters are one of those things. And it is super, super, super useful to start a new game on critical mode with all the Dream Eaters already made. That way, some of those abilities, like, you know, Once More, Second Chance, Leaf Bracer, you can get access to them early, like right away. Same for commands like Kiraga, Balloon Ra. Like you can basically make Sora and Riku broken before you even fight Hawkamonkey on critical mode. And I mean, to be honest, I highly recommend doing it that way, because it's not like you're breaking the game. The game is enabling you to do it. And I mean, some of these boss fights can be brutal on Proud mode. On critical mode, if you don't get the right abilities right from the start, plain and simple, good fucking luck to you. So anyway, this was a bit shorter an episode than I thought it was going to be, but I think we're done here. That was Dream Meteorology 101. And as I said, I will put in the, I'll clean up the Excel file because I've been using it to like track what I have and don't have already. So I will remove like all the background colors I've used to like mark everything as completed and whatnot. I'll add a couple notes about the risky winds being required and all that. And I will put the link to the Google Docs drive, whatever it is, of the spreadsheet in the video description. And yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. I'm not going to show you the Dream Eater mini games again because we already went over that. Yeah, okay, this episode's done already. All right. So, thank you for attending today's class on Dream Meteorology 101. So, the plan now, and I mentioned this at the end of the Flick Rush episode, the only thing that we're going to stress about, I mean, not really stress, because I'm more than prepared to take care of it here. The big thing we're going to do is we are going to go and clear out the secret portals. Just because I want to show you guys the secret portals on Proud mode before I torture myself later doing it on critical mode. So we'll cover the secret portals in the next episode, and then that'll be part 13. And then episode part 14 will be the end of the game, picking up from where Sora and Riku left off in the World That Never Was episode. And yeah, after that, we'll come back for part 15 and start the critical mode playthrough on New Game Plus. As always, I thank everyone for watching. I hope for anybody else that had a hard time like compiling all the various tidbits of Dream Eater information that this was helpful to have it all condensed and simplified in one spot. And until next time, my friends, may your heart be your guiding key.